It's Monday, April 13th. Welcome to Scouting the League, the Rueben Bain story. A new story? Well, maybe for some, certainly not for everybody, and definitely not for NFL teams. So today, we talk what NFL teams are really doing with this information, why it's fair, why it's foul, and what it means for his draft stock. There is going to be some great conversation on this. Perhaps again, give you a sense of what NFL teams would be looking at as they get this information. And again, get overloaded with everybody double checking to make sure scouts have done their work. Tomorrow, we talk top players on defense in this 2026 NFL draft and who I am wary of drafting. Wednesday, we hear from the Athletics' Dane Brugler, always a great guest on the show. We talk down the board a little bit, get out of these first round players and talk some of the guys that Dane really likes. Next week, we get Jordan Reed of ESPN, as well as all things draft cleanup, as the draft is nearly upon us. So make sure you're doing everything, including liking, subscribing, and sharing this podcast wherever you are listening and watching. Hit those buttons. Subscribing is one that really helps us out. Commenting is the other thing. Let us know what you like, what you want to hear, what you want to hear in the coming weeks. Head over, check out my website over at rsafootball.com. Follow me on Twitter at RightStepADV. If you're a scout or aspiring scout, check out thescoutingcommunity.com and check out the best insoles out there over at bluemaca.com. Use code SCOUTING20. Let them know we sent you. Get a little discount on that order. They are the insoles that will upgrade performance and upgrade every pair of shoes you own. So, the Rueben Bain story. Again, a 2024 car accident, very serious, that's already been settled. Again, I'm not going to dive into the whole story. There's plenty of stories out there that document everything that's been out there for a long time. I believe it was March 17th of 2024. How long have scouts known about it? Well, honestly, probably since about March of 2024. Likely Rueben Bain missed some spring practices. Again, that's always going to come up as scouts start doing their background and character work. Again, you're talking about during pro day times as well. So again, you're talking about scouts being on campus, all of a sudden not seeing a guy out at spring practice, hearing rumblings, hearing things when you're on campus, on site. Again, obviously, all those things are going to be obvious for NFL scouts, as Rueben Bain has been on the radar for a good little while now. Again, probably a medical note. He probably did a little bit of rehab, post rehab, again, just bumps, bruises, soreness from being in any kind of car accident. Going to show up. You're going to talk, hey, was this issue, again, looks like he had a little uptick in recovery here. Was that from spring practice? Did he have, it was a car accident. Okay, let's do some work on that. Again, you're also talking a public police report, a public lawsuit that have been out there for a long time, becomes part of recurring searches NFL teams do and have in place. It is likely that NFL teams, as they have their players in the upcoming draft database in 24, it would have been for that 25 and oftentimes that 26 draft, because you're always going to be doing work a year to 2 years out on these guys. Again, if that player's name comes across on any ticker, again, you start talking about the benefits, the positives of things like AI. You can run some of these scrapes from some of these big crawlers that all of a sudden, if that name, Rueben Bain, in, again, Miami-Dade County, in the state of Florida, wherever it's at, if Rueben Bain's name pops up on anything, you're going to get an alert, and all of a sudden you're going to have some information to start working through to find out what you need to get answered in a situation like this. Again, when it's public, when it's part of a police report, that is really easy work to do for scouts. Again, you start grabbing that information, you attach it to a player profile, you start doing all those things. So when you go into Miami, again, whether it's in 24, 25, or 26 during pro days, again, you've got a lot of ammunition. Hey, you guys didn't bring this up. Talk to me about this. Talk about what happened. Again, you're going to be doing additional work. There was another car accident in place. We'll talk about the pattern and the question that brings up. But again, you can get all the granular details of everything that happened with this Rueben Bain situation. So again, we're going to go ahead and throw up some film as we talk through it, because again, the film hasn't changed for Rueben Bain. Has anything off the field? Again, that remains to be seen. But again, from a film standpoint, nothing has changed for Rueben Bain. So again, are there concerns? Are there new concerns for this player? Again, arm length. Again, we got that figured out. Scouts have known about that. Scouts have known about this driving issue, which becomes, with top guys, something I've talked about on this podcast before. It's not about the issue. It's about, can we manage the issue? It's like, oh, we need to get rid of this. Oh, we can't take this guy because of this issue. No, with top players, you start talking about, what do we have to do to manage the issue? With driving, again, it becomes a fairly simple one. Either you get a driver, you hire a driver. Again, a lot of people can drive for this player. Maybe you kind of limit them and what they want to do. You have a real conversation about this. Again, another car accident, another auto incident could mean serious suspension, could mean serious repercussions off the field. Again, it probably becomes a conversation when that contract time starts to come. Do you have enough leverage to say, hey, we need something in here that says anything auto could result in, again, waiving guarantees and, conduct detrimental to the team, making sure that is all cleaned up. Again, with Rueben, the pattern has now been established, again, 2 times, and you've got a pattern. Again, it's going to be a conversation that the team that drafts him and his agency are likely going to have. So again, everything leading up to this, again, now we're at a new spot. He's on our team. Let's deal with it in this way. Again, it's not an issue of the issue, but can we manage the issue? The questions that now start popping up are, why is this story a story now? Again, if a team released this, man, it's not going to be viewed well across the league. Again, this is always that time of year where you get, again, oh man, if you're a team at 7 or 8, do you release this story hoping, man, you just need them to fall down a few spots? We think about the Laramie Tunsil issue from years ago. Neil and I have talked about it, what it was like in the draft room. Again, our scouts, our Southeast scout, did a fantastic job. He knew a video was out there. He knew it was probably going to drop at some point. The way it dropped, the timing, everything with Laramie's situation, the way it happened. Again, he certainly slid a little bit. Again, I don't think that's going to be the case with Rueben Bain. One, there's not a video that's going to be involved with this. It's all of a sudden going to shock people, ownership, different people in the room. But again, everybody, again, all of a sudden this pops up on draft night and people are like, oh man, Rueben Bain, a car accident. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's been in the report for a year and a half, 2 years at this point. So again, if it was a team, and it will come out at some point where this leak happened, again, at least for NFL people, scouts, teams will know it's not going to be viewed well. Again, it's not going to be well liked. Something like this really just to hurt a kid's draft stock. Again, when it comes to this kind of situation where a life was lost, where, again, debts have been paid, it's been settled out of court, that is not going to be viewed well. Again, for somebody like Ollie Connolly, who is getting the credit for a report, again, he knows it's going to drive traffic. Again, so why not this in the day we're in? Again, get the clickbait. Again, it's driven people to him. He's a name now. Again, from a media standpoint, I can understand 100% why he did it. Again, I don't like it. I don't like the way, again, shock, awe, clickbait. Man, look at all this new information. Again, Bain's going to fall. No, that's not going to be the case. It doesn't do anything. Again, it certainly gets Ollie Connolly's name out there. If that's what he wanted, again, mission accomplished. Again, with that comes a certain reputation that you're willing to do this the way it all happened. And again, he has not reported anything that is untrue. So again, you can't be like, oh, wow, again, you over-reported, you did more. No, he reported the facts. He reported this case. Again, nothing out of bounds. Now, maybe he framed it in a little bit more shocking way. Again, that's the media. I'm not going to hold Ollie accountable for this. Everybody that's taken it wrong made it more than it was. Again, it's on everybody making the story the way it is. So again, is it fair? Well, it's fair. Again, it's fair to report on this from Ollie's standpoint. Again, he's about to be probably a top 5 NFL draft pick. He's about to get paid millions of dollars. It is a public report. This is what you signed up for. As a player that's going to be in the spotlight, this is what you signed up for. You are, again, opening everything up to be in the spotlight. Again, that is why high schoolers, young college athletes, if NFL is your focus, again, decision making now and into the future matters. Again, whether it's high school, whether it's college, again, families, uncles, girlfriends, whoever it is, everything will be up for scrutiny if you are going to and want to be an NFL draft pick. It is all fair. Don't act like it's foul. Don't act like anything's out of bounds. You're about to get paid a lot of money and be in a public spotlight. So be ready for why it's foul. Again, why it's foul when it's presented as brand new, shocking evidence. Again, that's just kind of bad journalism. Again, Ollie's right on the line there. Again, I don't want to beat Ollie up because, again, there's nothing new here. He puts it out there a week and a half before the draft. It's largely going to be a non-story by next Thursday when Rueben gets drafted. Again, the only thing I'd add to this, again, not a lot of conversation from scouts or teams who would say there's nothing to hear. Again, that would really kill the story a little bit quicker. Again, Ollie wants it to stick around. Again, for his job's sake, again, I can understand why. He's made a name for himself. Can't discredit him, can't say anything negative about him for that point. Again, Ollie knows teams aren't going to be commenting, so the draft would take it and run with it. Everybody on the outside get to take it and run with it. But again, for teams, it ultimately means absolutely nothing for Rueben Bain stocks. Teams have known about this for, again, I would argue probably close to a year at this point. Certainly teams have known about it since March 17th of 2024 when it originally happened. He is going to be a top 5 pick. Again, shocking if he makes it down in past 5. He's going to be there at the top of the draft. Teams are going to be excited. I don't think teams have new questions, driving questions. Again, maybe ask him to get a driver, all that kind of stuff. Rueben Bain, you still want him on your team. He is still going to be impactful. He's still going to do a lot of really good things to help your franchise win. He's going to get after quarterbacks. Again, there are teams that like a little bit of, I don't know if we'll call it a screw loose, a little bit of craziness. There is an edge. There is a dog that is associated with being a pass rusher in the NFL. Rueben certainly has it. And again, as long as there aren't a bunch of other character concerns that have not come out on Rueben, teams aren't going to be scared away by this old, likely known draft report. So what questions, thoughts, comments? Again, head over to Right Step ADV on Twitter to let me know. Do you think he should fall? Do you think there is something within this report that should cause him to fall? And maybe to your team at number 9, 10. Again, let me know at Right Step ADV. This is the perfect example of why not just the film matters, why scouts matter in so many ways. Everything matters. Be a scout and just keep scouting.